Is it worth the investment? RVs are known to lose their value throughout the years, but there are exceptions to the rule. Known for their longevity, through their build quality, Bigfoot produces a trailer that demands some of the highest resale value in the market. Now, we're going to dive into the 21RB today to take a look at some of the quirks that might make you think otherwise and some of the build and construction that really protect your investment. Let's take a look inside this 21RB from Bigfoot. Now, when you first look at Bigfoot trailers, they are built in a very specific fashion, different from a lot of other trailers on the market. This is a two-piece molded fiberglass design, which means this top piece is going to be molded in one solid piece, this bottom piece is going to be molded in one solid piece, and then they're going to cut out the holes for the windows, the doors, the AC, and those are the only real seams on board. Now, on a traditional travel trailer, you'll have a seam on each side. It's a box. So everywhere you have a meeting on a box, you're gonna have a seam on it. Now this seam right here, because it sits one on top of another, it's going to overlap. And when you have rain falling down or water falling over it, it's gonna roll right off instead of catching into a seam. As well as on that overlap, there'll be a backing that each individual screw gets a good mount into, and then that is sealed over with this larger seal as well. So the molded fiberglass design is a fantastic way to protect your trailer for the long term, reducing the amount of water intrusion to next to zero, and then also protecting it for going down the road. Having this chip or scratch or break is actually pretty dang hard to do. Now, the noses on these are going to look a little bit different than most travel trailers as well, with this molded fiberglass cabinet for your propane tanks as well as your battery. It is a compartment for a single battery only, so you'll have to dictate what kind of battery you actually want to put in there. You will have your electric jack up top, as well as a 2 5/16 ball on there as well. A nice docking light. And then one of the bigger things that you'll find on almost every Bigfoot travel trailer is this big front window with the hood that'll come over top. Logo looks really nice on there, nice and clean, but we pop this open with gas struts that'll help it lift right up. So nice and easy to open, and now you have a really panoramic view through the front of your trailer. And it also protects this window as you're going down the road. Now, speaking of the windows, they are all dual pane, and they actually have a bit of reflective quality, so it keeps out some of that UV radiation that you might get from one that is not necessarily tinted. So if we step back around to the amenity side of this camper, you will have the quick connect propane down below, which actually keeps you a little bit under the awning if it is sprinkling, but realistically, it seems like it's a bit in the way of that door. Now, you might run a line underneath the stairs and be cooking over here to make it a little bit easier. This is going to be your camp area. You have your chairs and everything out here, getting under the awning, enjoying it. Your light up top is going to be a white light instead of a yellow light, so just be aware of the bugs that may come. You can swap that out. It is an LED, so it might be a little bit harder to swap out that to a yellow light. Outdoor marine speakers, and then you have your 110 outlets, and then your large compartment in the back. Now, this compartment is pretty big and generous for your external storage. Let's take a closer look and see what's inside. So this is going to go pretty deep into the back there, but you also can see here is going to be a cabinet that is on the interior underneath the bed that you can reach items, so you don't have to go in and out of your trailer to reach this compartment. It does go forward just a little bit into this carpeted wheel well, so you can put quite a bit of longer items in here. Not necessarily skis, but it's something a little bit longer. Camp chairs, easy. Nice slam latches on there, as well as a little bit thicker insulated door to keep that insulation factor higher than most. Since we're down low, let's look at what we have for our rolling package. You got nice Goodyear tires. They are going to be, where are we at? Load range E, a nice shackle system underneath to give you a little bit of suspension in there, as well as the chassis on these. Unlike almost all other trailers, these are going to be custom built in the factory to be able to balance everything correctly for a travel trailer on top. A lot of times travel trailer companies will purchase 10,000 trailers frames from a specific manufacturer, and then they'll throw a bunch of different floor plans on top. Whereas being able to make it in-house, you can spec it out to exactly what the trailer is going to hold up top. Now we're in the rear of this trailer here. You can kind of tell they've really taken it seriously with the fiberglass and put it over almost everything to give it that nice sleek fiberglass look. These are much more similar to the hulls of a boat than they are to another different travel trailer style. Because of this, if you were to seal up some of those holes for like the door and everything, if you were to throw it in some water, it'd probably float. They've continued it onto the spare tire cover, as well as you can see that big piece, that one piece all the way to the top. There's no seam on the roof, there's no seam on the side. It's just this one continuous seam right here. These are walkable roofs, nice fat ladder to get up top, and this one's going to be outfitted with two, I believe 200-watt solar panels, as well as your max air fan and AC. Bigfoot does give you a range of options on their travel trailers. Feel free to reach out to us at Apache Camping Center or shoot me an email, and I will be happy to get you all of those resources so we can get you set up with your Bigfoot trailer. This one does come with a 2-inch receiver on the back. Now it is bracketed on instead of welded through, so you're not putting anything except for some bike racks on there. Moving around to the business side of the trailer, you'll get a lot of the amenities that you'd usually find on most every travel trailer. A docking light for your dump tanks, as well as a sanding flush, which is how you flush out your black tanks. You plug in a pressurized hose into there, and then you have jets inside of your black tank that spin and breaks up all the particles to be able to flush that out without having to go inside the old-fashioned way and stick a hose down the toilet. Up front, you do have a hot and cold tap shower for the exterior. Nice to rinse off your feet, take a quick shower, rinse off. Maybe if you take this out to the coast or you got a dog that gets a little sandy, good way to clean them off there, as well as your city water connection, your furnace, as well as your hot water tank and electrical connections. You even have your aux cable down below. The 21RB is 21 feet 6 inches in length and an impressive 8 foot 4 inches in width. Now that gives you an extra 4 inches overall. Because these are molded fiberglass, they really shy away from putting in slides on these. The less holes in the sides, the better. Now that extra 4 inches might not seem like a lot, but does give you an exponential amount of space when you're on the interior. Let's take a look inside and see what that looks like. So with any travel trailer, the first thing I notice is going to be the height. This is registered at 6 foot 4 inches in height. I am 6 foot 5, and I might need to re-measure myself because I am really brushing my head up against this. That extra inch might give me the space to stand up straight. But if you're 6 foot and under, maybe 6'2", 6'3", you're gonna be just fine moving throughout. You might have to worry about the AC up top and a little bit of this trim on the skylight, but overall, you're gonna be just fine. As we move to the front, this is where you get that big panoramic window that we looked at outside. You flip that up and you're going to be able to see a lot more having your coffee sitting on this beautiful dinette, which I am always a fan of this diamond style stitching on all of the cushions, as well as the cheeky little Bigfoot that they like to put around on almost everything. Now, speaking of Bigfoot, it does live up to their name. Bigfoot travel trailers and campers are actually very hard to find on a lot anywhere. Because their manufacturing is not a huge corporation, they don't make as many units per year, and they are in high demand. So being able to get one to see on the floor, take advantage of it, because again, they're pretty elusive, just like Bigfoot. Now the dinette, great, big, easy to use. These are pretty deep seats that are going to be pretty comfortable. If you're looking at 4 adults sitting around here, if you're having some friends over, not a problem. You do get a little bit of the slant on the front nose cap. So if you're over here, this valance ends up coming into your face if you're a little bit taller. And if you are using it, you have a blackout as well as a shade. Now, you say, well, what the heck? It's going to hang over and hit you all the time. There are little magnets on there that should hold it up. But again, it's one of those things that maybe a third magnet in there is a little bit more necessary to be able to hold it out of the way when you're using these different shades. In terms of storage on the front end here, you have your overhead compartments. And then one thing I did want to note on here was the attention to detail in terms of usage. When you are at night and maybe you're here with your partner and one person's kind of working up here and one's trying to take a nap, it's a little bit hard on a 21-foot trailer to be able to get that separation and have brighter lights that are waking people up. So being able to have a reading light on either side of the dinette makes it nice during nighttime if you just want to be up and working a little bit while your partner is trying to lay down. In terms of storage underneath, these are just lift up compartments. There is a compartment underneath. This is just going to be a nice plywood. Now, again, a little bit more attention to detail. They round the corners on all this plywood, so you're not getting any of those splinters or anything trying to use it. The dinette does fold down into a bed like a traditional dinette on any other travel trailer. And then in the back here, you do have a big basin to be able to throw some of more of those bulky items. Let's flip around to the kitchen and see how this is going to work out for all of your culinary delights. The 30-gallon fresh, a 22-gallon gray, and a 22-gallon black tank. They're not the biggest tanks in the world, but they can do you just fine as long as you mitigate it properly. These aren't necessarily meant to be, rugged off-road campers, but they are meant to be something that lasts a heck of a long time and take you to a ton of national parks, established campsites all around the US and beyond. The kitchen up here has a nice big prep space, probably about 2 feet prep space by 2 feet. A nice circular basin sink, no split sink here, enough to fit a dish in there, get it washed properly with a pull-out spray hose, hot and cold tap. The stovetop is going to be a 3-burner stovetop, as well as a smaller oven for any of those pizza bites, bagel bites. I know I always had those at Christmas time, which was fantastic, family tradition. And then we have nice lighting under here, which is going to be a nice strip light, as well as your range hood is going to have a light as well. A microwave up top, as well as your storage, which is going to be split here, and a big basin there. Now let's look down below for a little bit more of the storage. I would say that, the cabinetry is absolutely beautiful on here. It's all made in-house. It's all solid wood throughout. I think they did a really nice job with this cabinetry. Even the handles, I think it goes well. The color, I think, is pretty beautiful. And at the end of the day, that's all my opinion. You could look at this and say, I hate the color, I hate the handles, whatever. Those are something that you can have discussions with us or the factory and be able to change up just slightly to fit your favor. I think they did a great job. Solid wood cabinetry, no composite in there, so you're not getting any of the peel or delam or warping that you'd get with some of those composites. But a lot of different access down there, a lot of different storage throughout, pots and pans down there, maybe some of your kitchen cleaning supplies, sponges, utensils, napkins, what have you. So a lot of great storage throughout here. And then as well as you have your heat port down below. So you can have your large furnace heating up your trailer effectively. So we flip around here, and the nicely stationed entertainment area is going to be good for the dinette setup, in which where you're sitting right now is actually on the dinette seat. So your angle of view is actually if you were sitting down in the dinette right now. So you don't have to imagine it. You're sitting there right now as you're watching. You can see the TV, and you do have a big space down here if you wanted to have a little bit more prep space for your kitchen, or if you wanted to utilize anything else. This does swing on a very large arm, but I mean, if you wanted to lay down in bed and watch TV, that's not really going to happen. But if you wanted to move it further in here and get more of both sides of the dinette to be able to see it, it's not a problem. And then it folds away very nicely and clicks into place when you're traveling, also giving you more space down here to work. Now this container down here is going to be nice for maybe shoes or anything like that. You've got your audio sound system there, as well as your solar controller down below. So moving further back right here, this is going to be your 12 volt Dometic fridge. Now the 12 volt, whatever you might say about it, good, bad, ugly, they do give you more room. You don't have the fins in there from a propane style. You also can get them up and running and run them safely going down the road. You can also run them on a big tilt if you were on an uneven campsite. There are a lot of benefits to them. Beyond that, this is going to be your bed area. Now, finding a different mattress for this is obviously going to be a little bit difficult because you have a little bit of cutoff on the corner there to be able to get to the bathroom. But in Bigfoot's thinking of this, they've maximized the amount of room that you have in here without feeling cramped trying to get by. This is going to be a pretty comfortable bed with a great panoramic view. So if you just wanted to also curl up on a rainy day and look outside and see the view, it is a nice way to do that. Lots of storage up top for any of your clothes. And then when we looked outside, there was the outside compartment. The connection to that outside compartment is down below the bed as well. So you can grab things from underneath the bed that is something that you'd want to use outside or inside. So I know what you're thinking, wait a second, where did all the storage go? I thought you said there was storage in here. Well, now we are at the wardrobe. The wardrobe is going to come with this big basin, cedar bottomed wardrobe area, hanging locker. You can also use that if you're going long term for a lot of food storage, as well as his and her sock drawers, and a little bit of storage down here. You don't want to put too much in there because there's low point drains, as well as some of the furnace materials in there as well. Now let's take a look into the throne room. All right, so for a bathroom, it's going to be an RV bathroom. It is a dry bath, which is really nice. You do got a 110 outlet down here, toilet paper roll holder. I, again, am 6'5", so my knees are really long, or my legs are really long. My knees come out and usually bump the edges of the walls when I'm sitting on a toilet in a trailer. But this one, because there's no cabinet under the sink here, you do have a lot of foot room and leg room to be able to sit and use this effectively. There's a little medicine cabinet up top for all of your toiletries, and then a nice little hot and cold tap sink. One of the smaller things that I just wanted to point out in terms of the build quality is their choice of materials. On this bathroom door, a lot of doors in trailers are going to have just a couple of hinges on here. They put a giant piano hinge that goes from top to bottom on the door that actually will hold up a lot better over time. So if you're looking for build quality and strength in your travel trailer, look no further than the Bigfoot travel trailers, especially if you're looking for a lower cost of RV ownership in the total lifetime of your RV ownership with some of the highest resale value in the industry. Bigfoot travel trailers is going to be your ticket. Now, if you're interested in this model or any other Bigfoot model, feel free to reach out to me or any of the other sales associates here at Apache Camping Center. We'll be happy to help you with this or ordering out a Bigfoot travel trailer, or camper, and get you set up to be excited to pull off the lot and go start your adventure. If you like this, feel free to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.